Hi, I'm Mike Sargent, and this is Arise on Screen.
Look at this black man trying to get a cab in New York City. Taxi, taxi, yeah!
When Andre Allen, star of a trilogy of hit action comedies, attempts at being taken seriously as an actor fail, an unexpected encounter with a journalist puts him back in touch with his comedic roots. Chris Rock and Rosario Dawson star in Top 5.
I came here to tell you that something is coming that is out of my control.
Raised as brothers, but destined to be enemies, Oscar winner Christian Bale is Moses, who must free the slaves, and Joel Edgerton is Ramses, the pharaoh who will not let his people go, in the controversial Exodus, Gods and Kings. From Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther King Jr., a new documentary looks at what drives revolutionaries and how young activists around the world are using social media to change the course of history in We Are the Giant. All this and more on Arise on Screen. Hello, I'm Mike Sargent, and welcome to Arise on Screen, your global home for films both on screen and behind the scenes. So let's get to it. First, with this week's box office winners. Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1 tops the box office this week, followed by Interstellar, Horrible Bosses 2, Penguins of Madagascar, and Big Hero 6 rounds it out in the number 5 spot. And in movie news, a new documentary in the works about legendary jazz saxophonist John Coltrane focuses on the impact of his music. John Coltrane released nearly 24 albums in a 10-year span before he died at the age of 40. According to a recent post in The Hollywood Reporter, 90% of Coltrane's music has been cleared for the film, a huge feat. The film should hit the film festival circuit in 2016. U.S. President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama's love story is coming to the big screen. South Side with You will chronicle the 1989 Chicago summer when the future president courted the eventual First Lady on their first date around the Windy City. Get On Up star Tika Sumpter has been cast as Michelle Obama, and the search is on for the actor to play the leader of the free world. Filming will begin in Chicago in 2015. The story of French tightrope walker Philippe Petit is back in The Walk, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Shot with death-defying angles, the story of the incredible one-hour walk between the World Trade Towers in 1974 originally won an Academy Award for Best Documentary Feature for the 2008 British documentary Man on a Wire.
When I'm gone,
When I'm gone,
when I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
A cappella harmony is in perfect pitch again. The trailer for Pitch Perfect 2 was just released, and it sounds like fans of the first one won't be disappointed. This time, original cast of Bellas go global when they compete in an international competition to bring home the title for America. Pitch Perfect 2 opens in May 2015.
crushed it.
And in festival news, two powerhouse black organizations, Black Enterprise and the American Black Film Festival, have come together to form ABFF Ventures. The joint venture will showcase the best of African American culture and achievements and produce the American Black Film Festival and the ABFF Honors, formerly known as the Black Movie Awards. Black Enterprise was the national sponsor of the 2014 American Black Film Festival. The festival will be held in New York City, June 2015. Today I'm joined by Italian artist and film critic Chiara Spagnoli-Gabardi.
Hello.
Welcome back, Chiara.
Thank you.
And Matt Donato of the entertainment website We Got It Covered. Is it We Got It Covered? We Got This Covered.com. Okay. Well, thank you both for being here. And I have to say before we get to our reviews, it's the 75th anniversary of Gone with the Wind. which is sort of amazing. Now, I have to admit, I just finally saw the film for the first time yesterday.
For me, the greatest memory was when I discovered that the League of Decency at the time wanted to censor the most important quote, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," and they wanted to change it to "My dear, I don't care," which would have completely changed the movie. So, and of course, all the topics, the gender issues, the Civil War, there's a variety of things that make that movie so great.
And what about you, Matt? What stands out for you? 'Cause
What stands out is that it can still be recommended in today's day and age at a 4-hour length, and people still enjoy it, critics and audiences alike. And it's just a testament to the performances.
And it does stand up. The Technicolor is pretty amazing. So I have to say, it doesn't feel like the 3.5, almost 4 hours that it is. I have to say, this is a movie that worth getting all the accolades it got. So when we come back, we'll be talking more movies here on Arise on Screen. Next,
Put a little stank on it.
Stank.
Nice and funny. Go!
What's up, mother? This is my Andre Allen.
when stand-up comedian turned film star Andre Allen's efforts to be taken seriously fail, he's forced to confront his past and reconnect with his comedy roots. Chris Rock stars in Top 5, next here on Arise on Screen.
I don't feel like doing funny movies anymore. I don't feel funny.
Save some of that stuff for your Times interview.
I just want a decent story. You give me a couple of really honest things, I will be more than fair.
This is Chelsea Brown. She's doing a story on me. No snitching.
Come to me, baby girl. I'm gonna turn over like an apple pie.
You know what? You just ate an apple pie, you fat motherfucker.
Things are changing. You need to wake up and smell the progress.
No. You things never change.
Thank God things
Hey,
change.
look at this. Black man trying to get a cab in New York City. Taxi, yeah!
In the new hilarious comedy Top 5, writer-director Chris Rock stars as successful comedic actor Andre Allen, who wants to be a serious actor, but no one wants to take him seriously. Rosario Dawson co-stars as a reporter who forces him to reconnect with his comedy beginnings. Rosario had this to say about working with Rock on his passion project.
This was Chris's movie, and he made that. He played us all, like I would say, like he was a conductor, and he played us all like different instruments. And he would talk about that even with the other actors, the other comedians, you know. And he would say, you know, each different comedian hits a different note. You know, they have their thing, and you got to be able to know where their sweet spot is.
All right, I have to say, hands down, for me, this is Chris Rock's best film. I thought it was hilarious, and Matt, I think you agree with me, because I think this is the closest he's ever gotten to doing something that's like his stand-up.
It's raw, it's real, and I drew a lot of similarities to Jon Favreau's Chef, in that it was a movie about himself. It wasn't just about, Head of State, you know, something he wrote and directed. That was his comedy effect. This is about him. This is him pouring himself into a movie. But not only that, he enlisted his friends. He has Adam Sandler in there. Jerry Seinfeld has a hilarious cameo in a strip club, but nothing beats DMX in this movie.
DMX, that's the scene. I don't want to say what it is, but that scene to me was the most memorable. And I also have to say that, to me, this was the film I felt that he cared the least. Either you get it or you don't get it. I felt in his other films he was pandering a bit to audiences, maybe, or the white audience or the mass audience, where this, I felt he just made a film that meant something to him, that he'd want to see. Now, you, Kiara, you are not a big fan of Chris Rock to begin with, and you thought this movie, what was it you said? Woody Allen witticism with Dumb and Dumber jokes.
Yes, I had mixed feelings because there were some very witty moments, very Woody Allen situations, and there were other like really down-to-earth comedic moments that were very much in line with Dumb and Dumber. I love the initial scene where there's a lot of subtle conversation between him and Rosario.
Well, it's interesting you responded to that, because I feel this movie's kind of it's a combination. There's definitely some Woody Allen and some Richard Linklater in there, but there's also some European sensibilities in there. And he's well known for liking European films and even has remade some. Yes. So it's interesting. That's what you responded to most. Just them talking down,
I
walking
think
down
the European
street
side possibly, rather than the flatter jokes, the more physical.
Are we really comparing Dumb and Dumber 2, which has fart jokes, and that's about it?
There were some moments in Top 5
There's no comparison
where it was very beastly.
Well, in my opinion, this movie was probably the funniest movie I've seen this year, and for probably a couple of years. I can't think of anything funnier.
It's high praise.
But clearly, this is not a movie to take Kiara to.
No,
So,
no.
while I assume you'd recommend the film,
I would give it a recommendation.
you would not.
No.
Next up is a crime drama called After the Fall. It stars Wes Bentley and Jason Isaacs, and it's about an everyday family man named Bill Scanlon who, after losing his job, is terrified he will lose everything he's achieved and turns to a life of crime.
What do you want to do? You want to destroy your family? Are we talking about your house? No, we're talking about my house. My wife, my kids, my home. Where are they going to go, right? Why don't you bail me out? I bailed you out, right? We all bailed you out.
Now, I have to say, and I think you might agree with me, Matt, on this. This is a film that I thought had a very interesting premise, okay? I think it's timely, and I think Kiara agrees with me that,
Yes.
but you maybe don't agree, but I think Wes Bentley, who has done great work in supporting roles, just couldn't carry this film.
It's very emotionless, and it feels a little inconsequential. His character goes through being a criminal without really any opposition. It makes it look easy to be a criminal in a way, but there's nothing interesting. His character's flat. He's hardly one-dimensional, and you don't get the performances that he gives in supporting roles. He can't really carry the movie on his own.
You know, I agree with you completely. Now, what did you think,
Yes, the actors, perhaps because of the script, were somehow missing charisma. What I loved was, as you said, the premise that desperate times call for desperate measures, and I saw him as this contemporary version of Jean Valjean. But then it drifts along the way. It somehow loses it. So
I felt that way too. I felt that the movie started out fairly strong. You know, there are a few reveals where we find out that he's actually, you know, a little bit off and trying to get his job back and hasn't worked in a while and lying to his family. But then it just sort of starts to unravel and devolve.
There are so many cliched scenes of him just staring into the distance and music playing in the background, and that's fine once in a while, but the movie starts to rely on that, and he doesn't have that brooding nature to just command a presence.
No, I agree. He doesn't have the gravitas, and I kept thinking as I watched about other actors who I think could have brought something to this role. I felt that he didn't really bring anything. He was kind of a cipher. And that, him being an everyman makes sense, but him being a cipher, I felt, did not.
yes,
So.
Something like The Company Men is a movie that
much
does
better-
a way better job at getting dark about it, too.
Right, and you mentioned a film that I wanted to mention, Falling Down with
Yes.
Michael Douglas. It reminded me of that too, where a man is pushed to the end, but again, we get a better sense of that character than we get. I had no idea what his character was like other than he was a liar. And he was willing to commit crimes.
Yes, and along the way you don't empathize anymore with him, so that's where you get lost somehow.
There it is. So, would you recommend?
An iffy recommendation.
Iffy recommendation?
Same here.
Same here. Yeah, I have to say mine is fairly iffy as well. And we'll be back when we return.
The year of your birth, there was a prophecy that our leader would be born to liberate us. That leader is you, Moses.
Moses rises up against the Egyptian pharaoh to free 600,000 slaves from bondage. Academy Award winner Christian Bale is Moses in the controversial Exodus, Gods and Kings. Next, here on Arise on Screen.